This will probably sound deranged to people who don't relate, but I'm gonna put my perspective out there anyway. And I mean, fuck it. I mean, in my opinion, I do think that everyone's becoming progressively more and more atomized and antisocial as the years go by anyway. So maybe it's more relevant than ever with all this, like, what AI girlfriend and, doom scrolling and everything going on these days. And especially, I mean, if you're listening to this on the internet of all places, I'm sure you're probably here for a reason. And especially if you're going to watch a review about the antisocial girl anime, then you're probably going to be like me anyway, and probably just going to be super antisocial. But yeah, this was a very good series despite its short length and relatively minimalistic subject matter. The manga has this whole thing where Tomoko ends up making a bunch of friends and basically becoming normal, basically having a harem, which is good, because if the ending to this anime was all there was in terms of her character's development, I think I would be concerned for her, to say the least. On a personal level, this show reminds me of how I was in middle school, specifically. Not high school, not college, not elementary school, middle school, which was actually around the same time that the anime came out. It was 2013, so that would have been 8th grade for me, and that would have been literally between 7th and 8th grade. That would have been the period in which I went through my socially awkward phase, my weirdo phase. It didn't last very long. I kind of snapped out of it pretty fast, but it was like a year and a half. And I went through something similar to Tomoko in that I was pretty addicted to video games and the internet, and I never got enough sleep. I would stay up super late, just fucking around on the computer, not doing anything. And then when I'd have to get up for school in the morning, I wouldn't, I'd overthink everything, and I wouldn't want to deal with people. I wouldn't want to have anything to do with them because I was too tired to think clearly, and I mean, that's what she does. That's her whole issue, her whole deal. But the big difference between me and her, I think, is that I always had people to talk to in the show. I mean, it is a show, so I guess they can be more over the top about things, but she literally only has like one friend and literally like doesn't talk to anybody outside of her immediate family, like on a day-to-day basis. It's like I've never been like down that bad, No, I've always had people to talk to, but the way I would put it is that I've just always hated them, or I've just never, maybe not hated them, but I've just never liked any of the people that I've been around. I don't think, I've always been like someone that people flock to. It's like I always get random people who just like talk at me, and I just don't like that. And we'll get into that a little more later, but similar to her, I did have this idealized version of what I guess at the time the middle school experience, and I did also have an idealized version of the high school experience in my mind, and I was always disappointed by reality, I guess, the reality of it all. And for a very brief period of time, and I swear it didn't last that long, I dealt with it by acting like a complete weirdo. I tried leaning into it, as they say. I let my hair grow out till it was like a bowl cut helmet on my head. It didn't even look good. And I'd wear my glasses. I had, reading glasses, and I'd wear them. Not reading glasses, just like what is it, nearsighted to see the board. Usually projection screens because they're blurry anyway. So my vision's pretty much normal. It's just just for that type of thing. Very minimal kind of prescription, but I would wear those more than I needed to. I would just wear them all the time because I thought it made me look cool, or I would just do weird shit like that for no reason. And I had I had a horrible posture, and I took stupid shit really personally. And I have plenty of cringeworthy anecdotes from those years that watching this show kind of brought back to the surface for a bit. Like this one time I sat down to eat with a group of people that I kind of knew. They were one of my friends, I guess, and I didn't even like them, but I still went over and I still went over and tried to talk. I wasn't even being a weirdo. I was just trying to talk to them, actually like a normal person, and they literally got up and left. They moved tables, but like it was stupid. It's like it was stupid for me to like, I like stuff like that used to really get to me, and it's like in hindsight, no offense to religious people, I guess, but all those kids were like fucking super Mormon and only talked to each other anyway, and they were a bunch of assholes, and it's like I don't care, it's like they weren't people I even really gave a shit about, but it like meant something back then. It like meant so much that they rejected me or whatever, I like took it so goddamn personally, and it's like, that approach to life is just like really not the greatest, because it's just not you. And like it was like moments like that, I don't know, they made me like so self-conscious, and like it made me do this stupid shit where I would like make myself annoying on purpose. I like played this really dumb this unlikable character. I wanted to be the annoying kid because I was afraid that if I was just myself, if I actually put my real self on the line, if I put myself out there, I wouldn't live up to expectation, and people wouldn't like me, and that would like destroy me for whatever reason. Again, random people, and assholes too, like people I knew who were assholes. Like I needed them to like me. So I preempted them. I got to it first. I was like, oh no, I'm going to make myself unlikable, so that, you're just disliking this exaggerated caricature of myself and not the real me. Real me is safely tucked away deep inside, but then you got this like troll or whatever. You can deal with him, and whatever happens to him is whatever, because it's not me anyway. It's really bad. That went on for like a year and a half, and I probably still have a little bit of that in me even now. But I was so afraid of, like, I don't know, people not liking me. I just set the bar really low, and it became this self-fulfilling prophecy thing where it's like, yeah, no shit, people didn't like the stupid version of me, and they just made more problems for me. It was just like, it just fed into it, and it was completely pointless and avoidable. And that's kind of the whole gist of the Watamote anime, in my opinion. Tomoko's worried about being seen as this unpopular girl archetype that she reads about online. She doesn't want to fall into that category. So she does all these like bizarre, indirect, like disingenuous things in order to preempt that. And it always goes south, because the solution to all our problems is to approach them directly like a normal human being, and, unplug from the internet for a while, get better sleep, literally touch grass, and actually talk to people, actually interact with people, and maybe join a club or two, or participate in what's going on at school, instead of just overthinking everything. The problem is that she has this shitty lifestyle that wears her down to the point where she can't think clearly, and she's so out of practice socially that anytime she actually does speak to another human being at school, I mean, she can barely get a sentence out because she's all meek, and she's stammery. She can't do it. But that's because she makes choices that make it so that she's not exactly in like the best of conditions to want to deal with people. I mean, have you ever been tired? It's like if you're ever tired, when you're tired, what's the last thing you want to do is like talk to people, deal with other people. You want to go back to bed. I mean, you're just waiting to get back to bed. That was me, and that was my whole high school experience, really. I was just fucking pissed off and tired all the time because I would stay up late because I didn't want to deal with it. I would stay up late and play video games and watch YouTube videos all night, and then I would be fucking utterly miserable at school. But then I would sleep, and then I'd be fine again. But, it's like I made choices that wore me down. To the point where I couldn't do basic, shit, or I just wouldn't want to, and I would be an asshole about it. I was more of an asshole in high school than she is. She's more like kind of meek and shy and everything. I was just like pissed off the whole time in high school. It was different for me by that point. I was like her in 8th grade. If this show, like, if this is like one of those, like, hashtag relatable hashtags, like, oh my god, that's like historical. That's like a historical bit of like terminology at this point, isn't it? But yeah, if this is going to be one of those hashtag relatable shows, or, just like me for real kind of shows, it's like she was just like me in 8th grade for like a year and a half. And I got over it by I don't know. It really is kind of a very particular point in your life, though, isn't it? Really, that's the other thing, because it's like she has a very extremely redundant. She has an extremely avoidant approach to things in life, and like I did when I was at that point, and I still do with a lot of things. Mostly like, I don't know, more like it's more about like responsibilities now for me than actual like, socializing. It's more like, I'll be avoidant about like let's say finding an internship or something, or applying for a job, a different job than the one I already have or whatever, something like that. But yeah, I used to be a lot like her when it came to just like talking to people. But the difference now is that I just don't care anymore, And it's because I think she's experiencing everything, and anyone at that point, when you're that age, it's like you're experiencing all of the pitfalls of high school for the first time, and it makes it seem like those arbitrary milestones, like your first semester, your first year, your freshman year. It's like it makes that all seem a lot more important than it really is. And I think a lot of young people, they make the mistake of assuming that high school is like a microcosm or a proving ground or a litmus test or however you want to describe it for the real world, and that you have to it's like anything that happens in there is indicative of how you're going to be when you get out, and it's just not. It's not true. And the only way to know that, I think, is to leave it and to spend enough time in the real world to realize, like, oh, nobody gives a shit about you. Nobody thinks about you for more than 2 seconds for the most part. And if they do, if they are dicks to you, it's like literally, it's not even just like a cope or whatever or a delusion. It's literally the truth. It's like if people give you shit, it's like 9 out of 10 times it's usually because they're the insecure one. They're the one with a fucking issue, And it almost literally has nothing to do with you. It's almost literally never about you. And if it is, then, deal with it. But usually what does that mean? It's like usually that means, I don't know, eat better food and work out a little bit or something, or, dress better. Take care of your hygiene if you smell or something. It's like whatever it is. If it is a you thing, then, I don't know, read a fucking self-help book or two. Go for a fucking walk. It's like it's so easy to fix that shit. It's really not. It's not a science. It's nothing. It's just life kind of stuff. It's just habits. But you don't think that way as a teenager. Obviously, you don't think that way when you're, when you're in the point of life that like Tomoko is. But yeah, it's like even in my case, I don't know. I don't want to talk about myself the whole time, but watching this show has like made me think about all of this, so that's why I'm including all of this. But it's like even in my case, it's like I can tell when people. This is gonna sound weird. It's just gonna sound weird no matter how I put it. But it's really the way it is. It's like I can tell when people like me. I can tell when people want to talk to me. And get to know me better. And it's like, maybe this is my problem, but it's like half the time I just like I just go, okay, I acknowledge it and I don't do anything with it, because I just genuinely believe that I'm the type of person who I like the simplicity and the freedom that come with leading like a, an independent kind of normal, to me it's normal lifestyle where it's like you have your actual friends and that's it. Like you have people that you actually get on with, that you're actually friends with for a reason, not all these arbitrary, like acquaintanceships and like, mutually beneficial, like, oh, let me give you my homework, let's study together, let's go see a football game. It's like, that type of shit. I've never liked it. And I think a lot of people, and I think I used to try really hard to have a lot of that for some reason. And a lot of people try to have that, and it's just a waste of time and energy. I don't know, it's bullshit. You need to play the game at work, you need to play the game at school, you need to do whatever it takes, you got to put on whatever face you need to get to deal with, like, I work like retail. Yeah, I work retail in the summers. It's like I put on my fucking happy mask and I fucking do what I need to do so I can get paid and leave. But I don't sit there and like, I don't want to sound crass, but it's like I don't sit there and fucking like, jerk myself off, commiserating with my coworkers. It's like I don't revel in like all the fucking stupid shit that people seem to need. To me, from my point of view, it's like I see people who depend on other people too much is like fucking, it's stupid. It's like they can't function. They're the dysfunctional ones. They can't cope without needing to constantly be around this incessant need to over socialize and to be around other people all the time and to have other people understand you and really and have them like suffer with you. It's like to be in the muck with you. It's like I just don't enjoy that. I don't get anything out of it. To me, it's like it's like it's like I don't know, to like some normal person or whatever. Maybe they think that like sports, just a cliched example, cliched topic, right? To them, it's like, rooting for your sports team. It's like being part of something bigger than yourself, being connected to the community around you and all that. To me, it's a burden. I don't know. It's like, no, I don't really want to go watch a game, a bunch of, I don't want to watch a bunch of people who wouldn't like me, in real life, all the fucking athletes, that I wouldn't get along with. I don't want to watch them. I don't want to support them doing something I don't care about. It just does, like, it's like I'll compromise. If like one of my actual friends wants to go, then I'll go with them as a favor to them or whatever. Like I'll be a human being about it. But it's like, I don't know, the thought of like that's how you meet people. Really, you have to do like all this stupid shit that you don't want to do. It's like, fuck that, fuck it. I just want to be me. Damn, like that's like, that means more to me than anything. It's just being able to be me, which, let's be honest, usually means like what? Lying in bed, fucking going on the computer all the time. It's like, but, that's what I like doing. That's my time to waste. That's my time to waste. That's my freedom to exercise. I fucking love it, And I think Tomoko's the same type of personality as I am, I think, and I don't think it's I believe me, I think the introvert, I think people have like established that the introvert, I think people are more forgiving to them maybe now than they ever have been before, because now the introvert has the internet, the introvert has avenues, alternative, sources of, I don't know, being a person or whatever. You don't always have to be, I think in mainstream society you're always going to have to, it's like I'm a night owl. I'm always going to be forced to get up in the mornings, when I'm tired and I don't want to be fucking awake, I'm always going to be forced to fucking, it's like I'm probably someone who should work the night shift. I'm probably someone who should, I don't know, work, some remote job or something, so I don't have to deal with people. But it's like, you just have to deal with them to an extent, but don't let that extra time and energy, like that's yours. Use that, you don't have to be beholden to whatever just because society tells you to, and that's like the moral of the anime anyway. I don't know about the manga, but the moral of the anime, Tomoko's arc, is that at the end it comes full circle. She goes on the computer, she reads that article about the unpopular girl archetype or whatever, and she just like turns the monitor off because she doesn't give a shit anymore. She doesn't care if people are going to think of her as that. She doesn't care if that's what she's going to be labeled as. She doesn't even care if that's actually what she is. She just like moves on. She just like stops worrying about it. And that can, too much of that can be bad. Obviously, there's got to be a balance. Like I said, you should compromise. And you should go out of your way to make like actual friends. But once you've made those actual friends, my advice, and this is maybe just directed to, I guess, the character. I don't know. Maybe I'm just having like a weird one-sided dialogue monologue thing with the character herself. But my advice to her, if I had to give her advice in this hypothetical situation, would be, to make those real friends, and then just use your time wisely. Actually apply that excess time and energy you saved from not trying to please people and win over strangers who wouldn't even like you anyway half the time. Take that and apply it to something that you're actually passionate about, But don't just use all that free time to go on your phone and your computer all day. Because then that would be fucking depressing, and that's something I need to work on now. But I also don't, and it's just this whole thing's gonna sound either really creepy or really depressing or both, really sad. But But I swear to God, I'm not lying when I say that I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't fucking care. I just want to be productive at this point in my life. And it's like, because I'm like secure in myself now. Like, I'm not a teenager anymore, you know? So I'm like comfortable in my own skin. That's a lot more important. That's like number one in terms of like your needs, that self-actualization shit. You actually have to like yourself. If you hate yourself, if you don't like yourself, then everything else is fucked. And it's like literally almost everyone I deal with on a day-to-day basis. It's like all the people I go to school with, all, you know, the teachers even. It's like I can tell everybody fucking hates themselves, and they have to like chase all these fucking superficial relationships, all this dumb shit to make themselves feel better, and it never works because they don't address the actual issue, which is that they don't like themselves very much. And I like myself just fine, and I'm comfortable, just comfortable enough or whatever in my own skin to literally like not think about it most of the time, you know. And it's a process, and you got to get there, and you probably have to go through all of it to get there, you know. But I don't know, some people never get over it. Some people are perpetual adolescents, you know, and it's like, it's just fucking depressing, you know. It's just fucking like, and it's really annoying. Yeah, it's really annoying to deal with people's fucking insecurity all the time, you know. And that's why it's nice to just not have to deal with it. That's why it's nice to just hole yourself up in your room sometimes. But yeah, I'd say as long as you're productive and as long as you have real relationships in your life, you're just fine. That's what you should strive for. Your priorities are all wrong if you're going at it the way that she goes at it in the show. You know, that's why she's so miserable. I mean, that's all it is. You know. It's like even the thing with her brother. I think her brother's kind of a dick, you know. But even with him, it's like she just kind of like forces him to. She does kind of drag him into her bullshit, you know. And it's like they would actually get along like they used to when they were younger if she had like normal boundaries with him and just, you know, had her own shit going on instead of, I don't know, like schizoing out. You know, it's like that's just. You know, I've done that plenty of times too. It's annoying. People don't like it when you, like, I mean, I've done plenty of cringe, you know. It's like in high school, I liked this one girl, and I think she was like she was like super religious, so she didn't want to date or anything. And I mean, she had a boyfriend. You know, it was always like stupid shit like this. I would always get crushes on like these, you know, emotionally unavailable women or whatever. It's like you know, I'd always pick like the hottest girl who already had a boyfriend and then just like, you know, obsess over her. And yeah, and I would like trauma dump on this girl who was like nice enough to give me rides to and from swim practice and invited me to go to her church with her. She was like super religious. It was like this like bullshit non-denominational church too, like this new age church. And it's like, I don't know. If I could go back and do it all over again, I would literally just not talk to the girl. You know, it's like I just wouldn't even, I would just be polite and like talk to her once, but I wouldn't like have done all this like stupid, I was like all this fatalistic like, you know, oh, you know, you're the one person who understands. I wouldn't have done all this like cringe. I just would have like not done it all. You know, I just would have avoided it because it was fucking stupid. And that was me being insecure. And it's like, and you know, I don't know if I'm even being articulate at this point. I feel like I'm starting to go in circles, but it's like you know, I just needed. It was that type of shit. I went through stuff like that too, where it was like I just needed her to like me because she was pretty, and it would have made me feel really good about my ego, you know, if she reciprocated these like kind of nonsense feelings that I had that weren't grounded on anything. I didn't know her personality. I just thought she was good. You know, it was like I just needed, you know, it was just stupid shit like that. It's like I needed the hot girl to like me back. You know, it was just like, you know, it's just dumb. It's like, why? Who gives a fuck? You know, I had girls that liked me that I just didn't like back. And I literally like on the last day of school, there was this girl that liked me. But she was a little like she was all right looking. I mean, she was like a perfectly all right looking, but I just, you know, she was like a redhead and I didn't like redheads or some whatever, you know, it was just some stupid shit. And I like literally, she like talked to me and I literally like said, I said one word to her and I didn't even look over at her. She stopped to like meet me in the hall where she knew that I would like leave Like the door that I would go out of the school every day, I would always go out the same way. And she literally went out of her way to wait for me. We had gone on like one kind of like non-date. We like watched a movie. We watched, Endgame. We watched, it was Infinity War together at the movie theater once. And she tried to talk to me. She went out of her way to do it. She obviously liked me. She went out of her way to talk to me and everything. I met her through a friend who said that she was like looking to, she was trying to meet someone. It was like this whole thing. Like I knew that she liked me, and I literally just like I said one word to her. I said bye. She said hi. She said hi to me. She was like all perky about it, all nice. She was like hey, and I was like I said hi, and didn't even fucking look at her and just went out the door. And was like such a fucking asshole. And then I blocked her number because I was scared that she was gonna like say something about it. I was a fucking dick. So it's like I don't know. I don't even know if there is a point. It's like watching the show just brought up all this like random shit. I don't even know if there is a point. You know what I mean? I don't think but it's like I don't know. I mean, even now, it's like, yeah. Everything I like doing, I think, is just kind of solitary. I'm an only... Especially for me, it's like I'm an only child. I'm, half Asian. And Asian people are kind of known in some parts, They're kind of known for kind of just doing their own thing a lot of the time. Societally, culturally, it's like, yeah, they kind of stick to their own. They kind of just work and keep their noses down, heads down, their noses clean. That's how I like to live my life too, A lot of what I'm genuinely passionate about is solitary shit. It's like, yeah, I like to read. I like to watch movies from like start to finish. I like to binge them without having to fucking wait for other people. I like to watch, TV shows. Did I say movies? I like to watch TV shows start to finish, that's what I'll do. I'll just watch a whole fucking show from like start to finish. Do nothing else but that until it's over with, Or I'll watch like I'll find a director I really like and I'll watch their entire filmography from start to finish, and because I know that I can do that, and no one else on the planet would, has any business being into it as much as I am, in that way. I like hiking by myself. I like riding my bike by myself. I like listening to podcasts and music by my fucking self, I like to swim, when you're in the pool doing laps in a pool, it's like you're just by your fucking self. And even when it comes to like tennis, that's like the closest I get to being like athletic. I could just play with a board, but I don't. I play with my friend who likes tennis, So it's like, but again, it's like that's my actual friend, and we actually like tennis, and when we play it, we actually play. We play it because we enjoy doing it. We don't just do it to have some arbitrary fucking thing to do. I fucking hate that. It makes me want to fucking, I don't know. It just makes me want to die inside. It's fucking painful to like, because like I've done, that's a perfect example. Like, when I was trying to like my first semester at this school that I'm going to right now, it's like I tried to meet people by offering to teach them tennis, because that's like that was like, oh, that's something I can offer to people. That's like the common ground we'll play tennis. And it's like, and I did that with like 3 separate people, and it's like only, it's like one of them liked it because they already liked it, and then the other 2 just like were bored and they wanted something to do, and and it's like it was just it was a waste. I'm sorry, but it was a waste of fucking time. It's like it is probably good to do that for a while. That's not what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong, too. It's like I don't regret doing it in the first place. I'm just saying, like, you should get to a point where out of those 3 people, you pick the one that you actually get along with. And then you just don't, you don't cut off the other 2 people. It's like it's like, yeah, those other 2 people fall by the wayside. Okay, goodbye. You don't have to feel bad about it. It's like, I feel like I feel like myself, I used to really care about that shit. I don't know. It's so arbitrary. I used to really care, like, oh, what happened? Should I have done things differently? Does it say something about myself? It's like, no, you just don't have anything in common with those other 2 people. It's fine. Relax, move on. Damn. Take everything fucking personally, Really had an issue with that. Still have an issue with that when it comes to certain things. I mean, I don't know. I think that might just be how I'm wired, but it's like, we all have our neuroses. Fucking deal with them. Embrace them, Wear them like a badge of honor if you really want to, or just like have them there, have them float around. Then you don't have to deal with it, Then you just focus on other shit. I don't know, live your life. Damn. But yeah, to me, it's like it's all the people. I don't know. How can I put this? It's like to this day, and I'm not just saying this. It's like I random people still talk at me. They don't talk to me, by the way. I'm specifically saying they talk at me all the fucking time. And I just don't care because I think it's because they're annoying, and I think it's more depressing to have a bunch of those superficial relationships and to be that person who has to just sit there and like listen to other people hearing themselves talk all the time. You already have to do that at work. You already have to do that at school. I don't need to do that in my spare time. I don't need to go, what's my plan for the week? What are my plans for the weekend? Let me go out with a co-ed, a large co-ed group of people and just like, let's just all sit in a room together and like talk at each other and scroll through our phones together and show each other little memes and like, fucking gossip about, just talk shit about other people because we're bored. And, it's like, I've done that before. It's fucking lame. And depressing, and it makes you just feel like an asshole. There's just something really freeing about not having to deal with that. It's like, no, I don't. It's like at work, no, I don't want to commiserate with you about our shitty job. I wanna bullshit everybody. I want the supervisors to think I'm a goody two-shoes. I want the customers to think I really give a shit about them so that I can get paid and leave and maybe even get a promotion or a bonus, I'd rather do that than fucking chum it up with you. Because there's just so many people who want to fucking stew. They just want to, they want that. That's like their whole existence is they look forward to the fucking, the water cooler talk and the fucking, the sports fucking predictions and everything. And it's like, no, I don't want to do any of that. It's just annoying. It's tedious and it's, I swear to God, I'm not being delusional when I say that I like living my life in a way that most other people would probably consider depressing, But to me, I find it comforting. I find it real. I fucking love it. I don't care. I'm gonna sit here and wax superlative about how much fun it is to just sit in bed and do nothing. And just enjoy that, not having to deal with bullshit, because I do deal with it. I deal with my responsibilities. I deal with my obligations when I have to. But when I don't have to, I'm off the clock. And I am one of these people. It's like, if you ask me what my hobbies are, I don't know why. But it's like I'm boring. I would love to just have a hot tub and some, have a hot tub and some, some 80s movies playing on the flat screen in front of me and a nice big bottle of whiskey, and some bubbles or some shit. And like I take a fucking bubble bath into jacuzzi and just watch fucking stupid movies and and get drunk or whatever. And you don't even need the alcohol. Forget that. Eat some good food, eat a big bowl of ramen in front of the TV. And fucking sit in a hot tub and just fucking live, I'm the cliche. It's like what would I want to do in my free time? I want to go to Hawaii and sit on the beach, like on a fucking private beach though, away from all the tourists. And I want to eat good food and I want to watch the waves and I want to read a fucking book under the fucking palm trees and shit. It's like, that's the type of stuff I like doing. I like doing nothing. That's my hobby. That's my passion, is leisure, There are a lot of people like that, And I'm tired of pretending like, it's weird to not want to be like all the fucking normie extroverts who, they're so codependent. They need people. Like they like shake and like freak out when they don't have other people to just be around all the time incessantly. It's like, God, it's fucking exhausting. Holy shit. Couldn't be me. It really couldn't be me. Validation, ego stroking, fucking waste of time, all this to say, it's like, yeah, it's, I just think different strokes for different folks, there are different personality types. We're not all meant to be, and I don't want to sound whatever, this Tyler Durden moment or whatever, but it's like we're not all made to be the fucking 9-to-5 happy-go-lucky, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant work ethic type fucking, I go to work and I like being around people all the time and I need to make a bunch of money. I don't even know where this is going anymore. This is turning into a parody of itself, but you know what I mean? It's like, yeah. No, I don't like waking up early. I don't like, I don't revel in any of that shit. I don't know. Nobody does really, actually, but, again, I don't enjoy it. I find it utterly, utterly boring. And all of this to say, make your real friends. And then once you have them, the second you have them, go out, look for them. Be pathetic, be whatever, be a total fucking people-pleasing, bootlicking, whatever, until you meet those people. But then the second you do the opposite and fucking be an asshole. It doesn't matter. Be good to those people, be good to your family, whatever. Be good to the real people in your life, but literally just stop dealing with bullshit. Just stop dealing with it. Stop it. Play along until you don't have to anymore. And then, like I said earlier, take all that excess time and energy that you've saved up from avoiding bullshit and put it towards things that you actually care about, But you have to actually do that. Like I said, you have to actually do that and not, your passion can't just be, oh, I like surfing the web, I like going on Discord and, I like playing Minecraft and whatever, Roblox all day. I like, those aren't the games that people play. I get it. Those aren't games people play anymore. But let's say, how about, let me bring up a game that's going to be dated in a few years anyway, probably, don't just sit around playing the finals all the time, Like that's not your passion. That's not what you're really into. It just isn't, though. Come on. Find something real that you do care about. Probably there probably is a formula too. If everything's arbitrary to you anyway, like if you're one of those people, if you're like Tomoko and you're like so completely lost, then I would say literally pick two hobbies. Pick one that's a physical activity and one that's like some kind of mental activity. Okay, so in her case, let's say I think she would probably be good at like, she should take up jogging, and she should take up jogging and reading. Let's say those should be your two hobbies. What she should do, if she wanted to be happy and to maybe even meet people and everything or whatever, get off the fucking computer, leave the fucking room, go outside, go to the park, jog in the park, take a backpack with you with like a water bottle, a granola bar, protein bar, maybe some fruit, whatever, apple, banana, and a book. She should go jogging. Let's say she goes jogging. She goes jogging in the park at like a normal time of day. Safe time of day. And then she sits down on a bench and reads a book. That's a more productive day. I don't know. And then maybe at school she joins, like, if they have a book club or something, she joins the book club. Or she joins the cross-country team or something, and then she meets people that way. It's like that's literally all she has to do. Get enough sleep the night before, go to bed on time, stay off the fucking computer. Like, damn, that's it. That's all it fucking takes. It's really not complicated. But yeah, I would give, it's back to the actual show, I would give it an 8.5 out of 10, maybe even a 9. Screw it. The only reason I wouldn't give it higher is because I've seen similar anime before. I kind of feel like I'm almost watching this too late, If I had watched this in 2013 when it came out, it would have been one of those, like holy shit, like she just liked me for real type, things for me. But that moment, it missed me. It passed me by. So it's not going to be relatable one-to-one for me like it would have been for that, like, year and a half that I was in my Tomoko era or whatever. It's been a long fucking time. Watching this now was almost like a weird kind of, like, healing the inner child type thing for me, Like giving my younger self a hug type of weird shit, It didn't, it wasn't supposed to be as, like, deep or as impactful or, like, as, even as relatable, I would say, as something like Welcome to the NHK or the Tatami Galaxy. Those anime, those stuck with me a lot more. I also watched them earlier, to be fair. I'm probably just jaded now. I'm probably just, like, it's probably too late for me at this point. I'm probably a goner as far as, like, getting inspired by things or what. It's like we're not doing that shit anymore, really. But yeah, you know what? It still brought back a lot of those cringy middle school memories that I buried, and it made me think a little. So it did its job, and I wish there was a second season that incorporated more of the manga that I haven't read or anything. I looked it up. I got to know it a little bit, but I didn't actually like read through it. I might have to now though. It seems pretty interesting the direction they went in, where they expand on it and it becomes like a whole 180. But yeah, it was a really interesting. It was a really interesting, funny character study. And that's the thing that sets it apart from like NHK and Tatami Galaxy too, is that it was actually fun, and it was funny, and it was a little more lighthearted than those, and that's probably something I need to work on with my taste, because I am like a emo as fuck when it comes to what I like. I like the pretentious, like high art, like either stuff that's like really stupid, like ridiculous, over the top like that, artsy, or depressing. And like real and gritty. It's like I'm too into that kind of stuff. So this was a nice change of pace for me. And, Tomoko's a sweetheart, and I wish her all the best. And I imagine that she's doing okay now, especially now that, I don't know, especially now that societies all around the world are dysfunctional enough to where she's probably the norm anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like, she's probably completely sane compared to the current generations of people like her, or even just the average person or whatever, average Zoomer, average Gen Alpha, whatever. Yeah, I bet she's okay. And yeah, it was fun though. It was nice. It was a fun little trip down memory lane, and yeah, I liked it. I don't know. I liked it. That's all I really got to say.